In the dark, satirical, and superhero deconstructing world of The Boys, Season 4 brings a harrowing twist for Hughie Campbell, as his seemingly ordinary father, Hugh Campbell Sr., is thrust into the chaotic realm of superpowered individuals. However, this transformation is far from the heroic ideal typically associated with superheroes. Instead, it leads to a tragic series of events that ultimately force Hughie to make an unthinkable decision. Hugh Campbell Sr., a man known for his gentle demeanor and unwavering love for his son, becomes a victim of circumstance when he is administered Compound V, a substance capable of bestowing superpowers upon ordinary humans. This act of desperation is fueled by a desire to save his life from a terminal illness, but the outcome is far from the intended cure. Instead of healing him, Compound V awakens a latent superpower within Hugh Sr., granting him the unsettling superpower abilities. Initially, this newfound power seems like a miracle, a beacon of hope in the face of impending mortality. However, the euphoria is short-lived, as Hugh Sr. quickly discovers that he cannot control his phasing ability. He becomes a walking, phasing hazard, unintentionally causing harm to those around him. Hugh Sr.'s primary ability is intangibility, a power that allowed him to phase through solid objects and people as if they were mere illusions. This ability, while seemingly extraordinary, is a source of immense distress for him. Like a bewildered child discovering a new toy, he struggled to comprehend and control this newfound power. The sensation of passing through solid matter is both exhilarating and terrifying for him, triggering a sense of unease and confusion that manifested in his erratic behavior. The intangibility is not a conscious choice, but rather an involuntary reflex, a consequence of the Compound V coursing through his veins. It is as if his body had become a phantom, unbound by the physical constraints that govern the mortal realm. This lack of control made him a danger to himself and others, as he could unknowingly phase through walls, doors, and even people, causing unintended harm and chaos wherever he went. In addition, Hugh Sr. also developed Superhuman Hearing, a heightened sensitivity to sound that allowed him to perceive frequencies beyond the range of human hearing. This newfound ability, while potentially useful, proved to be more of a curse than a blessing. The world became a cacophony of sounds, a barrage of auditory stimuli that overwhelmed his already confused and fragile mind. The combination of intangibility and superhuman hearing turned Hugh Sr. into a sensory overload, a being bombarded by stimuli from both the physical and auditory realms. This constant bombardment, coupled with the childlike mentality brought on by the Compound V, resulted in erratic and unpredictable behavior. He would lash out in anger and confusion, his actions driven by fear and a desperate desire to escape the overwhelming sensations that plagued him. These powers, while extraordinary in their own right, are not a source of empowerment for Hugh Sr. Instead, they are a source of torment, a constant reminder of his loss of control and the terrifying reality of his transformation. His inability to harness these abilities turned him into a danger to society, a ticking time bomb that could go off at any moment, causing unintended harm and destruction. The most devastating consequence of this uncontrollable power is the unintentional deaths of multiple hospital patients, as Hugh Sr. inadvertently phases through them, causing catastrophic internal injuries. The hospital becomes a scene of chaos and horror, as Hugh Sr.'s uncontrolled phasing wreaks havoc. Medical staff and patients alike are caught in the crossfire of his uncontrollable power, their lives hanging in the balance. The once peaceful environment is transformed into a macabre spectacle of unintended violence, a stark reminder of the unpredictable and dangerous nature of Compound V. Hughie, who witnesses the unfolding tragedy, is devastated by the turn of events. The father he knew and loved has become an instrument of death, a walking nightmare that poses a threat to everyone around him. The weight of responsibility falls upon Hughie's shoulders, as he recognizes the need to stop his father before more innocent lives are lost. The decision to kill his own father is an agonizing one, a heart-wrenching choice that tests the limits of his love and loyalty. However, Hughie understands that it is the only way to prevent further harm and spare his father from a life of misery and isolation as a pariah. In a poignant and emotionally charged scene, Hughie injecting an overdose of tranquilizer into his father's IV. This overdose of tranquilizer rapidly sedated his father and ultimately caused his death by suppressing his vital functions like breathing and heartbeat. The act of killing his father is not an act of malice, but a mercy killing, a way to end his suffering and prevent further tragedy. The aftermath of this traumatic event leaves Hughie scarred and emotionally drained. He carries the weight of his decision, the guilt of taking a life, even if it was for the greater good. The loss of his father and the circumstances surrounding his death leave a void in Hughie's life, a void that is filled with grief, regret, and a newfound understanding of the harsh realities of the world he inhabits. This storyline in The Boys is a powerful exploration of the dark side of superpowers, the unintended consequences of tampering with the natural order, and the sacrifices that must be made to protect innocent lives.